How to give an assessment with AMC Anywhere. To begin with, you want to make sure you're familiar with the assessments. A good way to get yourself familiar with the assessment that you're going to be giving is to go to the Support tab. Underneath the Support tab, there is a choice that says Assessment Instructions. Click on Assessment Instructions. Let's say you were going to be giving the Changing Numbers assessment. Click on the PDF next to the Changing Numbers assessment. In that, it gives you information about the assessment. It will tell you what you need, it will tell you the goal of the assessment, and it will tell you the procedure for the assessment. Notice here that not only do you need 20 identical counters, but you also need a set of numeral cards. You can find the numeral cards also under the support section by going to Assessment Resources. Under Assessment Resources, Changing Numbers, Number Cards for the Student Interview. If you click on that PDF, you get the number cards. Once you're familiar with the assessment and you have all materials ready, you can click on the Start Assessment tab. Let's say that you're planning to give the Changing Numbers assessment. Click on Changing Numbers. As a school admin, you will select the teacher name. Let's say you are going to be giving an assessment to a student in Ms. Furches's class. You would click on Michelle Furches. After you click on that, you'll come to a list of student names. I'm not going to click on Ms. Furches's name here, since this is a public document and you would see the names of the students in her room, but that's how you would get to your students. Once you get to the student page, you click on the student name and continue to the assessment. I'm going to show you in demo with fake students. So we'll say we're going to give the assessment to student A. I click on student A and start assessment. This takes you through step by step what you need to do. Present a pile of 20 counters and show the numeral card 5. Anytime you see this person, that represents you as the teacher, and you need to read what it says. Would you make a pile of 5 counters? Sometimes hints are included, like below. If a pile is incorrect, have the student recount until correct. Directions are in the blue box at the top. Show the numeral 8 and point to the group of 5 counters and say, would you change these counters so there are 8? It's important that you pay close attention to what the student does. These assessments not only pay attention to whether students have the correct answer, but looks at the strategies and reasoning that they use. For this assessment, you choose, did the student add the correct group? So did they just move 3 over? Did they count on? In other words, did they knew there were 5? Did they say 6, 7, 8 and push some over? Did they add some and then fix it? So did they add 2 maybe and say that and realize there were 7 and then fix it so that it was 8? Did they count them all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then add more in 6, 7, 8? Did they just move all of the blocks over and start a new pile to make 8? So you have to not only pay attention to whether they're even getting the correct answer, but you also have to pay attention to their strategy. So let's say this student just moved 3 over. Click Next, and then you ask another question. What did you have to do to change 5 to 8? And you want to see, can the student say, I added 3? Did they say the number but then check to see how many they added? So you look to see if they understood even what they did. And you mark whether the student said the correct number. While you're giving this assessment, there's also another tool that you can use that will show up on the student detail report. You can, over here where the notepad is, you can make comments. Did they make a new pile? Did they say how many before they added them? Did they say 3 and then add 3 on? You can also write in comments. Student answers are confident. Anything that you want to write in there, you can type in. Now, this type of information will show up on their detail report, so you want to make sure that everything that you type in there remains professional. And you click. It won't let you go to the next screen unless you choose a method. You go to, and when you click Click Next, and now you make sure that there are eight counters in the pile, and you continue the assessment. I clicked through the rest of the assessment so you could see how it ends. At the very end of the assessment, a score will come up on the screen. If you're testing in a live mode, this score will continue to show up on the student's record, so you don't have to save it right here. It will be in their reports. And this can show you the score. Now let's say that you're done with the assessment and you're not quite sure about the scoring. You can go back to that support column, and it talks to you about the instructional levels. So if you go to Changing Numbers and you click on that, it talks to you about what A, P, I, and N mean and gives you information. Thank you for watching the video on how to give an assessment in assessing math concepts.